We have spoken many times about the fundamental belief in Hashgacha Pratis, in divine providence. We've quoted the Rambam, Ein Mikra Nikra, things don't just happen in a vacuum. The Baal Shem Tov's teaching that everything, every minute detail happening in the world is by divine providence. And I find it personally a divine providence that just yesterday, the message that I shared was about the 7 laws of Noah, the 7 Noahic laws that God has given to humanity, the universal laws to make for a better and a perfect world. And then we hear the news suddenly today about an assassination attempt of President Trump. Let me delve a little bit more onto this. But only after we said thank you to Hashem for protecting him. Yes, for protecting Trump. He's definitely a unique president. He's definitely a unique individual. This is the 3rd attempt, if you think about it. And God is protecting him. So we'll say thank you to God. Mizmor lesoido rila Adonai kol haaretz ivdu es Adonai b'simcha. Boi lefanav birnon ad'u ki Adonai Elohim hu asanu v'lo anachnu am b'tzad marisoi. Boi yishor b'soido chatzroiso b'silo hoido lebachu shboi. Ki toiv Adonai le'olam chazdoi v'yadoi v'odor emunasoi. Let us give some charity. And now I don't want to deal with politics. This is definitely not my purpose. But all politics aside, and putting aside the personality of Trump, there is a lot of things to say about that. But one thing is certain. As far as the Jewish community is concerned, as far as Eretz Yisrael is concerned, or for that matter, the way I see it, as far as the whole world is concerned, here is a man who is standing up for what is right. Here is a man who is not afraid, besides of speaking his mind, but is not afraid to act against conventional wisdom. He's not afraid to take on evil and calling it for what it is. It is evil, and acting upon it. And he's not ashamed and embarrassed, yes, to stand by the Jewish people, to stand by Eretz Yisrael, to stand by the land of Israel. Clearly stating he believes in God. So interesting, as I just said, started talking about it yesterday. And in fact, here we see how important those 7 laws are to assure a proper behavior. One of actually not one, the first 2 commandments are belief in God and the prohibition against blasphemy. Now what means believing in God? Believing in God is not just a statement, oh my God. Believing in God is to recognize that God is in charge. Believing in God means that I have to act and live according to His teachings. It is not some kind of a distant intellectual belief. Belief in God is something that has to permeate me entirely. And that means the 2nd commandment, no blasphemy. In other words, that the speech, the language that we talk should be a godly language. Should not be a language which is contrary to God's words. Remember, God created the entire universe with speech to appreciate and understand the holiness of the word. Idolatry, the prohibition of idolatry. What is an idol? Now, an idol could be gold. An idol could be some kind of an animal. But it could also be that we idolize an individual. We idolize sports people. We idolize actors. We idolize singers. We idolize even gladiators. Those are good in killing other people. What's the idol? That we're attributing to them or to it certain powers that they don't have. Let's assume God gifted somebody with a beautiful voice and sings beautiful. But that's all it is. It's a gift from God to singing nice. This doesn't make that whatever this person says or acts is right or wrong. This doesn't mean that I have to emulate these people. Not because they possess fortunes, they become an idol. I don't know who this shooter was and who he idolized, but he certainly did not live according to the 7 laws of Noah. So, my friends, let's realize what they are. Let's internalize it. And then we will have the ultimate beautiful Moshiach world.